Who will have the offensive advantage between Notre Dame and Ohio State? And will offense or defense be more important in Monday night's national championship game? I have a definite answer. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below while you're watching. All right, offense or defense on Monday night? What's more important? And what will be more advantageous for Ohio State or Notre Dame? Got some big news around the Big Ten on defensive coordinators. Wink Martindale and Michigan might be going, and Tom Allen, we found out how much it took to get him out of Penn State. Plus, things are heating up for Mike Woodson at Indiana, and not in a good way. We'll have our college basketball power rankings at the end. You'll want to hang for that. But back to the football game on Monday night. You know, back in my day, they used to say that defense wins championships. Now, I don't know if that's still true, but both Notre Dame and Ohio State have excellent defenses, and here they are in the championship game. So it must be true. But football, both pro and college football, the rules are tailored to help the offenses, so you better have a strong offense if you want to win in this day and age. And I have, as everydayers know, and I will continue to make the argument that Ohio State's offense is way better than Notre Dame's. I mean, way better. I don't think that anybody who has watched 5 minutes of college football this entire season would disagree with that statement. If you do, we're going to have a fight on our hands. But the ebb and flow of Monday's college football national championship, you know, while we're watching it going back and forth, will be more advantageous to have the strongest offense or the strongest defense and shut things down, right? A lot of times a good defense can neutralize a pretty powerful offense. And which, will offense or defense have the biggest impact on this particular game with Ohio State and Notre Dame? I think the answer is simple. I really do. I think offense will have the biggest impact on this national championship game, and that gives a huge advantage to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Like I said earlier, both teams have excellent defenses. Both teams are capable of taking something away from the other offense. Notre Dame, they had a great ability to force turnovers throughout the season. It's been kind of their bread and butter. And Ohio State, their defense, they can get pressure on any quarterback, and Ohio State's great at all levels, all three levels of defense: defensive line, linebackers, secondary. So these are great defenses. But the Ohio State Buckeyes offense, they're light years ahead of Notre Dame's offense. Light years. And I think Ohio State wins this game by at least 2 scores. And if things get sideways, it could be 3. I really believe that. Now, I've been getting a lot of criticism from Notre Dame fans out there, but I'll take it. I'm a big boy. It's really how I feel. Now, it hasn't been easy. I used to criticize Ohio State quarterback Will Howard early on for being an inaccurate passer. Everydayers know that, that was over his entire 4-year time at Kansas State. I mean, it was a large body of work, a 4-year sample size. That wasn't going to change in 1 year, right? Wrong. Since it came to Ohio State with offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, he's completed 72% of his passes, and he has the ability to be a super solid game manager and just disperse the ball to all these weapons that the Buckeyes have. But I don't want to just call him a game manager, because he's not. He's more than that. He actually has some pretty good arm talent, and I'm sure you'll see 1 or 2 times on Monday night. He's got a beautiful deep ball. He really has some arm talent and the ability to be accurate downfield. He's got the receivers to haul it in. More on that in just a moment. Notre Dame, their quarterback, Riley Leonard, he doesn't possess that kind of arm talent, although he's an above average passer. Barely. He's an above average passer. That's what I think about him. And he'll run the ball, and he's above average runner. I mean, he's not like Lamar Jackson at Louisville or Tim Tebow at Florida, but he can move the chains with his legs when he needs to, and that's what he does, and he has done it all year. That's how Notre Dame got here. A good game for him will be to throw for 125 yards and maybe run for 90. Again, nothing spectacular, but together, it's enough to move chains, keep offenses going, and if Notre Dame's defense can play well, that's their winning formula. That's what they've got to do. I just think Ohio State's offense is too explosive to hold in check. Enough about quarterbacks and quarterbacks who run. Notre Dame also has a very good running back at Jeremiyah Love. He's fast and he's strong and he's tough. Been fighting the knee injury the past several weeks. But that's it. That's it. They got a quarterback that throws a little and runs a little and a running back that runs. They'll throw to their tight end a little bit. They don't have any wide receivers to throw to. We'll get to that in a minute. Meanwhile, speaking of the running game still, Ohio State has not one, but two future NFL running backs, true weapons in the backfield, TreVeyon Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, and they can catch the ball too, especially Henderson. So, let's just say, for example, on a good day, both teams' running games are a wash, if they are. And I don't think they are, but if they are. Let's move on now to wide receiver and the weapons that these quarterbacks will be throwing to. Notre Dame, like I said, they throw to their tight end a lot. They don't have any game-breaking wide receivers. Jaden Greathouse, 36 catches, 464 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bo Collins, 37 catches, 458 yards, 3 touchdowns. Combined, these guys make a decent receiver. 2 guys make 1 good receiver. The leading receiver has 3 touchdowns. That's it. That's not how they're going to beat you. You want to see wide receiver stats? Look at Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith had 71 catches, 1,227 yards, and 14 touchdowns. That's a lot. And by the way, he's a freshman. Oh, and also double, by the way, he didn't even lead the team in catches this year. That goes to Emeka Egbuka. 75 catches, 970 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Between the two, 24 touchdowns. They'll throw to the wide receiver. Notre Dame won't. They got big playability, too. Smith has a 70-yard touchdown. Egbuka has a 68-yarder. Ohio State's offense makes big plays. They redefined the word chunk play. Don't forget Carnell Tate. They got him, too. He'd be wide receiver 1 on a lot of college football teams, and maybe even including Notre Dame. So think about that for a minute. Ohio State's third best receiver would be the starting number 1 receiver, number 1 option on the Notre Dame team. That's the difference between these teams right here. It's at the skill positions. Ohio State just keeps coming and coming with more guys. Notre Dame can't match that. Notre Dame has to grind this game to a halt and keep it in the low 20s. I don't think they can do it. Their defense may be able to slow part of Ohio State's offense. Maybe they slow down the running game, but they can't stop the passing game. Maybe they shut down a receiver or 2. Still got this running game. I just don't see it. I don't see it out here. So, yeah, I'll go back to my original point. Offense will be the most important part of this game, and the Buckeyes have the better offense by far, and I don't think this game is going to be close. And then we could say that the Big Ten will win back-to-back national championships. Michigan last year, Ohio State this year. By the way, programming note for all of you. Mark this down. Put it on your phone. I know it's still a few days away. Monday night after the championship game, we're going to go live right here on Locked On Big Ten on YouTube, right here after the game. We'll wait a minute or two. We'll wait for the coach's interview on the field, maybe a little confetti to fall down, and maybe when we get bored with the team speeches on the podium, then we'll go live. It'll be around 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, somewhere around then, and go live. My immediate reaction and analysis, your immediate reaction with the comments. We do that. We go live after big games. We'll do it right after the national championship on Monday. So be ready for that. Win or lose, Buckeye fans, expect you to be there. And Notre Damers too. Hey, while I got you, be sure to subscribe down below and follow Locked On Big Ten for free wherever you get your podcast. That way you get the latest episode of this podcast as soon as it becomes available each and every day. Love to have you there. And also share, follow, and like. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. Put all of our podcasts there. Also links to merchandise from your favorite schools in the Big Ten right there. Talkbig10.com. All right. I got some defense I got to talk about. First of all, Wink Martindale may be leaving Michigan now. All right. That's a thing. And I'm still perplexed by that story of how quickly Tom Allen left Penn State, their defensive coordinator, to go to Clemson. We have a few more details with that. And tough night for Mike Woodson and the Indiana Hoosiers. A little chanting that he's not going to be too happy with there at Bloomington's Assembly Hall. Yeesh. And we'll have our top 10, or not our top 10, our power rankings, weekly, midweek power rankings for men's college basketball. All that coming up in one place, under one roof, right here on Locked On Big Ten. Wayfair. I shop at Wayfair. My wife shops at Wayfair. Let me tell you about Wayfair, because the hustle and bustle of the holidays is over with. You want to give your home a little TLC, find that just a perfect piece of furniture or accent somewhere around the house. It'll help you out right there at Wayfair. Find you exactly what you need, tidying up, clearing out, give a space a new look, all within your budget right there. If you're looking for any kind of unique furniture, everyday furniture, their huge selection makes it easy to find pieces that fit your style and your budget. And they got the free and hassle-free delivery, even for larger items, coming free. I bought a piece from them just over the holidays, as a matter of fact, a little spin chair. So give your home the refresh that it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. It's wayfair.com. Wayfair, Wayfair.com. Wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right. I want to thank you for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day. Thank you very much, especially you everydayers out there making us go. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And don't forget to check out our website, talkbig10.com. All right. Let's talk defensive coordinators, shall we? Some interesting news out there. Michigan defensive coordinator Wink Martindale is looking at a couple of defensive coordinator jobs in the NFL. I guess when you shut down Ohio State and Alabama in your last two games, others are going to notice. And Martindale is reportedly interviewing for a couple open gigs, the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts. And I hear that the Bengals are interested in his services as well. And he has spent a lot of his coaching career in the NFL as well. But he just spent 1 year in Ann Arbor under Sherrone Moore, replacing Jesse Minter, who left with Jim Harbaugh to go to the LA Chargers. A lot of impressive stuff going on at Michigan, even though it was considered a down year this year, right? They finished 10th in defense in yards allowed per game, 19th in points per game, 4th in rushing yards per game. Look, you don't run against Michigan. You just don't. And they didn't. Nobody did. This defense held the Buckeyes offense that I just spent 10 minutes telling you about how awesome they are. Michigan shut them down. Held them to 10 points, 252 yards. They followed that up against Alabama, holding them to 13 points and 260 yards and forced 3 turnovers in the ReliaQuest Bowl. So, yeah, Wink Martindale on the move, apparently, out of Ann Arbor. So, Wink Martindale started off, you love him or you hate him kind of deal. He's very blitz heavy. And if they get to the quarterback, everything looks great. And if not, guys are open. Yeah, but he got it dialed in pretty quickly this year at Michigan. And look, Jesse Minter, those are some big shoes to fill. And he did. So Sherrone Moore is going to be looking for a defensive coordinator, as is Penn State. Look, I'm still a little bit amazed. We talked about this in yesterday's podcast. Go back and check it out on talkbig10.com if you want to go find it, or on YouTube. There was a lot of speed in which Penn State and defensive coordinator Tom Allen went their separate ways this week. I mean, after all, the Nittany Lions, their defense was a top 10 defense this year, as usual. And it came within 3 points of advancing to the national championship. But Clemson's Dabo Swinney needed a defensive coordinator. He made a phone call. He wanted Tom Allen. And like within hours, this thing was a wrap. Thought that was a little unusual that Penn State, didn't either try to keep him or this didn't take longer. It seemed like Tom Allen wanted to leave, and it seemed like James Franklin wanted to let him go. It got me to wondering if maybe they don't get along. So, look, you know me. I'm an Indiana grad. Tom Allen was the Indiana head coach for years. On a scale of 10, Tom Allen is a 10 type A personality. He's a screamer as soon as he wakes up out of bed, just with enthusiasm for everything. He's type A, man. James Franklin's a little more chill. Maybe they didn't get along. And, Tom Allen, he's a sideline guy. If he's going to be defensive coordinator, he wants to get in his players' faces. He'll headbutt a player with their helmet on, and he doesn't have a helmet on. I've seen him bleed before, high-fiving and all that. That's who he is. But James Franklin, it seems to me, this is just my opinion, he didn't want all that. Maybe he was a little annoyed by that personality. Put him up in the booth. He was up in the booth calling plays. That's not what Tom Allen is. He's a hands-on guy with his players. So maybe that was part of the deal. Maybe there was something there. Maybe there was a personality buffer. I'm not saying anything was wrong, but both sides moved pretty quickly on this deal. So Allen was making about 1.5, 1.6 million per year at Penn State, while also, remember, still enjoying the $15 million buyout he got from Indiana when he got let go there. Clemson offered him a deal starting at 1.9. So it was for more money. James Franklin and Penn State didn't want to match, and Tom Allen's gone. He'll do a good job. And by the way, Dabo is a little more type A. Those two guys will get along. They'll probably be high-fiving each other on the sideline. Meanwhile, things got a little loud on Tuesday night in Bloomington, Indiana, and not in a good way, where the men's basketball team got crushed by Illinois. At one point, the Hoosiers were down by 30. They ended up losing 94-69. But as soon as they got down by 30, there were chants of fire Woodson from the balcony student section. That's unbelievable. This was the first game back for the students from spring, winter break. They're pretty vocal. Some people are getting frustrated in Indiana. They're coming off a 25-point loss to Iowa. This is the program's 5th loss of 20 or more points and their 12th loss of 15 or more in 31 conference games under Woodson. So things are not going well in Bloomington right now on the basketball court. But hey, it's a football school now, right? Kurt Signetti. Hey, we got some Wednesday hoops tonight I want to tell you about. Let's start with the men's. Penn State is at 12th ranked Michigan State. That's at 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network tonight, part of a doubleheader. 17th ranked Purdue is at Washington. That's at 9:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Pacific. A lot of women's basketball in the Big Ten tonight. Number 22, Michigan State is at Rutgers. That is at 7 p.m. Eastern on Big Ten Plus. Washington and Michigan, 7 o'clock on Big Ten Plus. Purdue is at Oregon, 9 p.m. on Big Ten Plus. And then we go to Peacock for Penn State at number 1 UCLA. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, again, streaming on Peacock. And then the Northwestern game at 4th-ranked USC has been postponed due to all the fires and everything that's been going on in Southern California. So hopefully that situation gets a little better. I used to live out there for like 10 years, and hope things get better fast. All right, coming up, it's the middle of the week. We are going to take a look at our men's basketball power rankings around the Big Ten. We're going to start. I know you basketball fans have perhaps felt a little neglected. It's been football 24/7. I get it. Still going to be a lot of football. We got to peek in on basketball once in a while. This is the Big Ten, for crying out loud. We'll do that next on Locked On Big Ten. Rocket Money. Rocket Money helps you in a lot of ways. Just a couple of things they do. Like, if you got all these subscriptions, $3.99 here, $6.99 here, $1.99 here every month, it just rolls over and over on your credit card. You're just paying for everything. You lose track of what you're paying for. Sometimes you're paying for things you don't use, or you're paying twice for something. Rocket Money will help you find all those subscriptions and track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower bills so you can grow your savings. And it brings everything together in one place, whether subscriptions, your spending habits, even your goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and they've saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions alone, saving members about $740 a year if you use all the premium apps on the features that they all have. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right. I'm going to put this on screen. We're going to talk through it a little bit here. If you're on audio only, I'll describe it in detail so you don't feel left out. But we have our men's basketball power rankings here in the middle of the middle of June, January. Let's get it right, Craig. Cold medicine. Middle of January, and we're getting warmed up here. Here's how I see it right now. Michigan State ranked number 1 in our power rankings. We'll go full screen with this and take a peek at this. So Michigan State just been steady as can be. Huge game on your calendar, January. That's right. I got that right. January 19th versus Illinois. Then I got the Purdue Boilermakers sitting there at number 2. You know, they made 19 3-pointers the other day, 104 points against Nebraska. They hit threes like that. Just forget it. I got Michigan at number 3. Maybe it feels a little high, maybe not. Dusty May, I'm a big fan. Got the win over UCLA. Danny Wolf is a player you need to watch. He averages 12 points with 10 rebounds a game for them. At number 4, I got Illinois, the Fighting Illini. This is a good team. They had their one of their really good players got a little elbow injury in their shooting arm. So we'll see how Illinois holds at number 4. I've got Oregon at no. I can say one of two things. You're not that great, or you're really good. You just know how to win and close out those close games. That's what Oregon's been doing. I got Wisconsin at number 6. Their defense is coming along. They just held Rutgers to 63 points and Minnesota to 59. But again, that defense dialed in there at Wisconsin. Putting Maryland at number 7. Just clobbered UCLA by 18. I don't know if that's kudos to Maryland or UCLA seems to be all of a sudden spiraling after a good start early on. Nebraska is at number 8. They got off to a quick start. They're slowing down a little bit, but I have a lot of faith in Fred Hoiberg. I think he's a really good coach, underrated nationally. UCLA, like I said, they're number 9. They started out at 9-1. They've lost 3 of 4. Mick Cronin says his team is soft. You know, anytime coaches will tell their players they're soft to their face, but when they start doing it in the media, that's a coach that's irritated with his team. Number 10, Iowa, Fran McCaffrey. Look, this team can always score. When they get defense dialed in, that's when they become very formidable, and they're starting to. All right, let's see what we got. The best of the rest. That's our top 10 in our men's basketball power rankings. Number 11, got the Indiana Hoosiers, and they feel like they're free-falling a little bit. I mentioned the troubles with Mike Woodson earlier. Just can't quite get this team together. Brought a lot of kids in from different places with nil money, and they're not gelling. Got Ohio State at number 12. They survived a bad Minnesota team recently, barely. Penn State at number 13. They got crushed by Illinois by 39 points. That's the difference between Illinois and Penn State now, 39 points. Rutgers, I thought, showed some promise. They got a couple of good players. Dylan Harper, but he's been sick lately. And freshman Ace Bailey, he's starting to struggle because he's got to carry the load because Dylan Harper's been out. So I got Rutgers at number 14. Northwestern at 15. You know, they started out 10-3, but they've been on a skid lately. Southern Cal somehow beat Illinois. Again, Illinois is banged up, but USC, that was like their one quality win right there. They're at 16. Washington, just one Big Ten win so far at number 17. And Minnesota continues to struggle, and they round out the bottom of our power rankings. I'm sure somebody along the line will disagree with me. Hit me up with the comments. Maybe you'd have a different order, maybe a jump or a drop here or there. Love to hear from you on that. But those are our power rankings. We do that at the middle of each week. We're now basketball centric with the power rankings moving forward. So let me know what you think. Many ways for you to reach out to us. There's Twitter or X at TalkBig10. There's our website, talkbig10.com, where our merchandise and podcasts are. And also check us out on YouTube. I love the comments on YouTube during the day. I'm always checking them, flipping them through there, and you guys go at each other. Sometimes you go at me. Let's do it. Get the comments going. Be sure to subscribe no matter what you do and follow this podcast right now on your favorite podcast app. And you get the latest episode of Locked On Big Ten as soon as it becomes available each and every day. We are a day closer to the national championship between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Can't wait. Continue to keep an eye on that. Coaching moves, transfer portal, basketball. It's all right here under one roof. All the news, all the opinion, all the analysis right here on Locked On Big Ten. Thanks for joining us, and I can't wait till we talk again tomorrow. Tell your friends about us. Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon. We'll talk to you next time.